A few days ago, a haunting photograph of a missing child was put up on Scotland Yard's website. It showed a short-haired boy with hazel eyes who had arrived alone in Britain last July without any proof of who he is or how he got here. When he was discovered wandering the streets in South London, he said his name was Juan Gokpo, that he was 14 years old and from Vietnam. He was given a home with foster parents nearby. There the matter might have rested, with the migrant child receiving the best help Britain could offer. But in October, telling his foster family he was visiting the local library in Bexley, the boy vanished into thin air. The police, who have asked the public to help trace him, say he had run away from his foster parents' home on 2 previous occasions, only to be rescued from an address 10 miles away in Peckham, South London. This time they went there, but could not find him. He completely disappeared. Sadly, Juan's story is becoming disturbingly familiar, and offers a glimpse into a growing child slave trade in Britain. Now, the police, who issued a set of pictures, including one of a boy crying, are desperately trying to find them. They are the victims of unscrupulous trafficking gangs who smuggle them from Vietnam into the UK for enormous sums, before forcing them to repay their debts by working in the secretive cannabis growing industry or prostitution, 2-bit restaurants and nail bars found on most high streets. The children are terrified of what the trafficking gangs might do to their families back in Vietnam if their huge travel debts go unpaid. For that reason, many rescued and taken into care escape and run back to the gangs, who brought them here with the sole intention of transforming them into child slaves to repay the money. All this may seem unbelievable in modern, civilized Britain, but it is a scandal driven by the booming cannabis trade. In a report last month she said, everyone in the camp planned on working in nail salons in the UK, even though none had prior experience or training as nail technicians. They live in France temporarily, between a week and 2 months, until they are able to get onto a lorry to the UK. Few expected to be put to work in cannabis farms and did not believe the warning from the charity that that's where they would end up, or even worse. Most migrants, whether old or young, in the French holding camps have fled rural poverty in their own country, according to the French charity Terre d'Asile, or Land of Asylum. They arrive in debt with interest accruing on top. Traffickers tell children, if they try to escape them, they will hurt them or their family in Vietnam. That's why police forces from all over Britain launch appeals every week to find missing Vietnamese children. Indeed, the NSPCC has said that a fifth of those referred to as child trafficking in Central are Vietnamese. Officers said they were growing increasingly concerned for the welfare of the boys, who they believe entered the country illegally. They had been found at a motorway service station during an immigration search. Social workers didn't have time to check their ages. Meanwhile, back in March, 3 teenagers, Thuyen Van Nguyen, thought to be 14, Dun Din and Cong Van Nguyen, both believed to be 17, were reported missing in the Shrewsbury area. Many are not so lucky and vanish off the radar forever. The reason is simple. Police estimate the bulk of British cannabis is grown by young Vietnamese who have been smuggled here. In recent years, criminal gangs have moved away from growing the drug in large buildings, such as out-of-town warehouses, to rented suburban houses. Last year, for example, police raided a former Barclays bank in Grimsby and a recently vacated GP surgery in Harlow. Both had been found operating as cannabis farms tended by Vietnamese. They had found a Vietnamese boy there, with injuries to his face, who said he was 13. Helen had let her property to a delightful woman for 3 years who then, without her knowledge, sublet it. By the time Helen got there, police had removed the plants, leaving 400 pots full of soil. The freezer was full of food, suggesting that the boy had been left with supplies to keep him going on his own for some time. The gang running the farm had nailed up the back gate, so no one could get in or out, said Helen, adding, "The house was ready." It was filthy. There was soil everywhere. There was a huge hole in the ceiling with big ventilation ducts coming down. There was toil all over the walls, loads of ultraviolet lamps, and the doors had disappeared or were wrecked. Apostrophe. And so it goes on. Philippa Southwell is a London lawyer who helps the young slave workers and stops them being prosecuted for immigration offences. She said in an interview with the Thomson Reuters Foundation, once they arrive in Britain, the youngsters are kept prisoners by the traffickers and forced to tend cannabis to pay off their debt. It's very dangerous. The electricity has been tapped from the mains. There are live wires everywhere. The windows are almost always nailed shut, so they can't leave. With so much money to be made, there is a never-ending criminal demand for frightened and indebted child workers to cultivate the drug. One Vietnamese boy was discovered alone and placed with foster parents after being trafficked into the UK. He then went missing, but not before he left a note apologising to his fosterers for upsetting them. "They are threatening my sister back home. I have to go," he wrote. Traffickers are rarely caught, but this month there was an exception. A Romanian who hid 5 Vietnamese teenagers inside a 2-man tent he put up in the back of a car was jailed for 4 years after pleading guilty at Canterbury Crown Court to assisting unlawful immigration. Claude Prokop, 29, hoped to fool border guards at the UK checkpoint near Calais as he tried to enter the Channel Tunnel to Britain with his human cargo. Yet the truth is they are unlikely to give up on trying to get to Britain. There are plenty of other greedy traffickers in Vietnam and over the channel who will peddle them lies about a new life of milk and honey working in the UK.